Rob, this is a significant admission by Pfizer, is it not?
Yes, it is. I think it's the first time that that someone admitted this, and it was an important question. I asked this question also to AstraZeneca and Moderna, but they made a workaround and they didn't give me an answer. But Pfizer was very clear in speaking out, and I think it's important because of this narrative. You have to do it to protect your grandparents, and you do it for others. You do it for all of society. All that, all the messages that was brought by all the governments here in the West. Because of that, the Corona Pass was introduced, and it had a significant impact on people's lives. There were people who were not able to work, who lost their job, people who lost their businesses, families were divided, and also friends. I think it's, and now it seems to be a disinformation from our governments.
Yeah. Well, if you just to look at those governments, you'll remember that Monsieur Macron in France said he wanted to emmerder the unvaccinated, which is a rather rude word, approximates to the English. He wanted to really piss them off. If you look at Canada, for example, if you were unvaccinated, you were forbidden from getting on an aeroplane or a train. In some German states, you were forbidden from going to the supermarket to buy food to keep yourself alive. And it appears that this lady from Pfizer is now saying at the time they introduced this, they never had any evidence that it would stop transmission of the virus. So where did all these governments get the idea to tell us you can't go anywhere if you're unvaccinated?
Well, yeah, that is exactly what I was looking for, because I'm searching for this answer for 2 years now, and because it had such an impact on people's life, I really wanted to know. And, well, yeah, where is this coming from? It seems to be disinformation from our government. So, well, this is really something that the people who are responsible for this, in my opinion, if the impact was huge on people's lives, I think these people should be held responsible.
Well, we've heard all this talk. I mean, as I'm sure you know, and you've been exposed to it as well, that if you question anything you're told by the government, people say you're not following the science. The lady from Pfizer basically just told you that there's no science behind any of these statements, that when people say you can't go into a restaurant and have a cup of coffee if you're unvaccinated, that's just something that a government made up out of it, basically pulled it out of its own bottom and inflicted it on society.
Yes. Exactly. Follow the science, and we still see that on all the social media. If you make a post about, I'm in this COVID committee, so I try to inform people by showing them the questions and the answers. We do not really get real answers, but this was exceptional and a very important one. But if you make a post about COVID and about real questions you ask, you immediately get a sign beneath your post about COVID, this COVID warning. They also removed me. I was cancelled from LinkedIn by exposing just simple questions. So it's still going on, and especially that there is no scientific basis for this narrative. I think it's, well, for me it was really surprising that I received this answer, but it's very necessary that it has come out. We should never have any COVID passport again based on this so-called science.